Hi, this is Emma, and this week on PMDD Project, we will be discussing PMDD and interpersonal relationships. I don't completely blame my PMDD on my issues with relationships, but they do become the problems in my relationships do become like exacerbated like 1,000 times during PMDD. If I've lost relationships, it's usually around my PMDD period. Um, let's see. I grew up in a family. I never felt loved. Um, I was never as good as my sister, never as good as my cousins. Um, I always grew up like feeling out of place. So, I developed trust issues. I developed an eating disorder at 12. I thought maybe my mother would love me more if I, lost weight. Looking back at myself, and I was 12, I wasn't fat, but, at that age I thought I was. Um, in high school I had a lot in. I had friends, maybe superficial relationships. I had a lot of close friends, but I never really spoke about what was really bothering me. I didn't know how. I don't want people to be judge me, or I don't want to be embarrassed by not having the same life or love that my friends had in their, homes. Um, I went to college and I felt like I belonged. This is a hard topic for me. I felt like I belonged, and I really developed like a sense of community. And then my senior year, I realized that this sense of community and like somewhere where I felt loved was about to disappear. So I started self-sabotaging. I went from a really high GPA, being close to my professors, and having like real decent friends, till self-sabotaging, where I got into alcohol and skipped class and pushed everybody close to me away. I just didn't want to say goodbye. So I started hanging out more with people who were pretty abusive to me verbally and stuff. I didn't think I deserved better, especially after like failing my senior year. I did eventually graduate, but I beat myself up a lot for that. I don't remember having PMDD symptoms at that point. I was about 22, 23 when I graduated college. And I basically found friends or drinking buddies. I didn't have to go into real deep, go and get really close to them. We could have a few drinks and I started feeling normal again. Like I started drinking when I was 22 after a friend died, and I couldn't cope with that, so I drank. Um, let me fast forward to like 2007, or 2005, 2007. I noticed my depression or anxiety or self-destructive behaviors were getting worse around my period. I didn't know it was PMDD. I didn't know what it was. But I got into a relationship in 2007, and it became abusive. First it was verbal. Um, I was told like, I'm blonde. I just dyed my hair, and I was told like I wasn't pretty enough as a blonde. I need to lose weight pretty much, and I was told that pretty much my whole life by people I dated, like, oh, you'd be prettier, or you would look better if you lost a few pounds and stuff like that, and just like struggling my whole life with like that eating disorder thing. Um, it's like the worst thing you can ever call me, fat. And I'm being very vulnerable right now. So I got into a relationship. I moved from New York, and it became really abusive, and very abusive, like around my period. I was hit a lot, like, and it was hard. I couldn't leave when I wanted to, and if I did, it was a whole big issue. I tried supplements at that time, eating healthier. It made somewhat of a difference. In, I think, 2010, 2010, the relationship was over, and I started working out in a gym to get stronger. And like, that was my, like, second home, where I just felt like I belonged, and I was losing weight, and like, I was developing friendships with people, and I lost a really close friendship during one of my PMDD episodes. After getting out of my intimate relationship and then losing a close friend, I really built up, like, this huge wall, because I just couldn't deal with her anymore, and I became more self-destructive and drinking more. I felt so alone and isolated, and it was just like a hard time. I mean, everybody I was attracted in my life, and it's probably because I was very down and negative and depressed and drinking, were very toxic people. So, I mean, I would, I guess, push away the people that were close to me or did like me, or I believed that genuinely liked me, and gravitated towards more of the abusive people. I think that's what I felt like I deserved, and that was hard. I met my current boyfriend now, I think, in 2011, and I was really messed up at that point in my life. Like, I was drinking pretty much every day. So any relationship that I formed around that time, because I was so miserable and so alone and depressed, was superficial, and I really could not get close to anybody. Like, I wanted to, I just didn't know how. So, it was around that time, like 2011, that I realized, like, boom, like, around my period, like, there's a connection between my period and the destruction or the ending of relationships. Like I said before, like, I always felt like I didn't belong. I wasn't pretty enough, I wasn't smart enough, I didn't have a really good personality, so, and if people knew the real me, they would leave. And I always had this, like, feeling inside of me, like, when people get to know the real me, they're gonna leave. And it was like a self-fulfilling prophecy, and it happened when I got close to people. And, like, I'm a very compassionate, genuine person, and, like, you know, I'm very loyal, and I'll do anything for the people that I care about, and I don't generally have a mean bone in my body, and I never wish harm on anyone, or I would never go out of my way to, like, bully someone or anything like that. And I didn't know why, you know, this was happening to me. Like, I walked around with, like, I'm a loser pasted on my forehead. So I had this wall up, and those who did were able to penetrate this wall. You can count on it that the relationship would probably end during PMDD due to my paranoia, or maybe being too needy, or just my issues in general, just being an emotional wreck. So I moved from South Jersey to North Jersey in 2012. I still have a hard time going back down there. I haven't been back down there. And like my boyfriend wants me to go down there to see his family for Thanksgiving, and I don't want to get triggered. Sorry, this is like a really hard topic for me to talk about. I didn't realize it was harder than talking about abuse. So, I mean, this year I lost a lot of close people in my life, like around my period. I was drinking less and staying sober, and then when a relationship would end, like a friendship or something, I would go drink. I didn't know how to handle it, and it was always around my period. So I guess like after a close friend died last February, I was like, fuck it. I can't be close to people. I cannot get close to people because it hurts too much when they leave. And I'm usually the one that can like push them away because of my own issues that I'm working through now, or my premenstrual dysphoric disorder. And I could bet you like it happens every time I get my period. Now I'm in an online course and I'm working with a wonderful therapist who I have a great relationship with, and I'm working on these issues. Like, I have to take responsibility for my own actions, especially during PMDD. I've forgiven those who've hurt me. I've taken responsibility, like I said, for my own actions, my own paranoia. My paranoia has decreased because I'm in therapy, and but I still find hard to get close to people anymore. Like, I can do it online because I'm hiding behind a computer and stuff like that, but in person, it's hard. Like, I try, but it's just like I have this wall up because I've been told, like, many times when I have friends, like, when I'm PMDDing, they'll be like, what's wrong with you? They see it in my face, or I'm just quiet, and I'll be like, I'm just not feeling well. Or if I'm, skipping out on things that I've if I've made an appointment or make some kind of plans with people, I cancel. It's hard to tell them why, because I've been told, like, when I've told people I've had PMDD, I've gotten responses like, it's just PMS, get over it, all women have it. I've been told, be happy, be positive. And when you're in PMDD mode, you just literally want to die. I mean, not die, like, literally. You just feel awful. And then my boyfriend moved in August, and during PMDD, we don't really get along too well. I want my space. I have issues being around men. Like, I can't be touched. The little thing can set me off, but like, I just want to isolate and be by myself, pretty much. I'm trying really hard to make friendships, but it's really hard. Like, it takes baby steps. Like, I'm working on it hard, but it's like to get myself out there and believe that people are gonna love me for who I am, and like hoping that my PMDD doesn't affect the relationship, or like that person can understand, like, there's certain times in the month that I can't possibly do anything. I'm not gonna be happy and positive, or as happy and positive as I usually am, because I physically don't feel well. I was just pretty much kicked out of this therapy group because I can't always make it because of my premenstrual dysphoric disorder. And so now it's just like, I prefer to be around animals. I love my animals because they love you whether you're not feeling well or not. And I think it's really hard to, like, convince people or really have people understand how bad you feel during 2 weeks before your period, because, you know, women or men who don't suffer from it, they don't understand. So yeah, this is an emotional topic for me. I'm trying really hard to find like life support. I have to go out of my way. I can be not shy, but I'm so afraid of rejection that it's like really hard for me to put myself out there. But I'm in a fearless group now, and so I'm trying to be more like fearless about it and put myself out. But like in the meantime, I can't beat myself up, and it's just one day at a time. And once like I change my energetic field, or it's changing now, I'll hopefully meet more people understanding, I guess, or maybe, you know, I can open up and talk to them about how my PTSD or how my fear of trust and stuff like that becomes exacerbated around my period. So I guess I'm gonna end this now. I always have like really long videos. So yeah, that's my story on PMDD and relationships. Bye.